Hello friends. Today I'm going to discuss about how to start with SQL on the software side. So this session is all about if you are using Windows machine. Windows machine means Windows OS, Windows 10 or Windows 11, and you just don't know how to start with Microsoft SQL, and like you are watching the video, but how to set it up in your computer or laptop. So in this session, I'm going to tell you about what software to download, from where to download, how to install, and how to start and creating your first database. And then later on, you can watch my other videos to practice on SQL. And this is a very basic session, and this is for the people who are just starting with SQL, maybe students, and or you might be working on other SQLs like Oracle or Postgres, but not the Microsoft SQL. So this session is all about Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, so let's start. So first, let's say you have a Windows 10 or Windows 11 machine, and then you want to download SQL Server on that, and then you want to work on the SQL Server. Okay, so what to do? First step, you need to download the software. Okay, so to download software, uh, you you know that you might know or not know, but there are multiple variants of SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server, and out of those, like out of all those variants, one variant is we call Express. There is another which say Community or Developer Edition, but let's say we are talking about here the Microsoft SQL Server Express. Why? Because Express is free with some limitations, like there is a limitation on the number of DB and the total space 1 DB. I mean, all the DBs can have, but for the practice purpose, it's all good. I mean, you can use Microsoft SQL Server Express. So you will go to Google, just type download SQL Server Express. As soon as you type, you will get this Microsoft. Just always check if you are navigating to Microsoft website. Go to Microsoft, this link, Microsoft SQL Server 2022 Express. This is the latest one. Once you click on it, it will open a page like this. Here you have a download button, right? You go there. Once you download, it will ask you either directly download the downloader, or it might ask you 32 version or 64 version, but it's okay here as it downloaded. Okay, if you click on the other link like SQL Server download, it will navigate you to here. Actually, I just want to take 1 minute to brief you about what all this. So here, actually there are two variants of SQL Server now. One is like which are running, so they call on-prem SQL Server. Okay, and we are going to practice on on-prem. On-prem means on-premises SQL Server. It means they reside in your premises. It means they reside at your place. Okay, and then there are cloud version of same SQL Server, which are we like Azure SQL servers. So Azure SQL Server, the server as well as the database and the data resides on the cloud. So Azure is the cloud platform for Microsoft. So here, the first one, this here the data resides in the Microsoft Azure cluster, not at your computer or your place. So these are basically cloud databases. Functionality and language wise, they are same or similar, I will say. Not 100%, but they are similar, 98%. And on premises, you have control of these servers. You can scale, you can store data and the privacy wise as well. But nowadays, like more and more, mostly people are using Azure SQL Server because they don't want the maintenance of the databases and all and the server all. So it's good. Here the on premises, it is good for practice. So what we are downloading here is the on-premises version. Okay, now once you downloaded it, go to your download folder, and then you will see your softwares. Okay, so I'm talking about this software. Once after you download, you will have this installer. You can see it is just a 4 KB installer, so it means it has not downloaded the whole software. It will download from the internet when you try to install. Okay, so now once you have this installer, double click on it and start installing it. Okay, once you start, it will come to here, this screen, and you can select what you want to install. You don't know much, so just go with the basic and then accept, and then yep. So once you accept the condition, now the next is you accept the term and condition, and the next screen is like download screen. You can see that the space required to download this software is like around 6 GB, 6.6 GB, and then and then the download size is around 300 MB, which is small, but it need, like while you install it, it unzip the code, and then it needs some space even for creating database, master databases, and um, to store the data. So it will require at least 6.6 GB disk space in your hard disk, and then the downloader is 278. As I have already installed, I will not press install here because it will start installing again. So I'm okay. You will just do next. It will ask for server name. It will come with MS SQL Server, whatever you can keep the default, everything default. Just go next, and done. Once you've done, this software is installed. Now you have SQL Server. Okay. So now you have SQL Server in your computer, but SQL Server is runs as a server. It is not a software. Okay, it's not a user software. It means you cannot directly interact with the software. So you need a mechanism, or you need a software to interact with this database, what you installed. Okay, database and the database server. You need to have an interface. Using that interface, you will interact with this database. Okay, so what is that interface? In Microsoft term, we have one very good software we called SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, what is SQL Server Management Studio? You just go to Google, just say download SSMS. Okay, SSMS is SQL Server Management Studio. Once you type this, you will present with this link. There are many, but check you are downloading from Microsoft website. Go there, you click on that link, you will be navigating here, and then you see here download SSMS, and you will be always presented with the latest version. So currently the versions what are going on 2.x, 20.x. So just download the latest version here. Once you download that software, come to the download folder here. So in download folder, you will see this software you have downloaded. It's around this one. Okay, 480 megabyte. Download it and just double click. After downloading, double click and install it. It's a software. Okay, it's an interface software. Just say install. So I already installed. That's why it's giving me option of prepare. For you, it will give option of install. Just install it. Okay, once you install it, now you can connect to your SQL Server what you installed earlier using this interface software. Okay, so you will go here, and if you type SQL, you will see in the search that SQL Server Management Studio version 20. Okay, this is what you installed right away. Once you click on it, okay, it will present you the first screen. First time you are seeing it, because if you have never worked on the Microsoft SQL Server and used Microsoft SSMS, now this is how we connect our SQL Server. So as I told, what we downloaded is on-prem SQL Server. On-prem means it will run on our computer. Okay, so we need not to give any network name here or anything. It is just your local PC. So you can see here my PC name is PC for work, and the SQL Server running here is the default name, SQL Express. I think for most of the people, if you will not change the name of a default SQL Server while installing, this will be the default name. Okay, in the server list, you see here, by default it selected the database engine. Okay, keep it like that way only. Here you can browse all your databases, but it will, by default, it will detect the running SQL Express server. Okay, so you can, if you have more than one, you can see in this list, but this is the default one. Now the next step, when you are connecting to this SQL server, it is not that everyone can come and connect to your SQL, your database and see your data, right? You need some authentication mechanism as well. So in SQL server, there are many type of SQL authentication method. Okay, maybe in some other session we'll talk about this authentication method. But as you know that your SQL server is running on your computer and you are the owner of your computer, so it's safe to use Windows authentication. What does it mean? It means when you start your computer and it asks for a Windows authentication password, right? You must have some password or PIN in your computer. That's your window authentication. Okay, so it uses that. So as you already unlocked your machine, it means you already provided the Windows authentication, right? So now when you open the software, it already detects your authentication. In that way, when you select Windows authentication, you need not to give user ID password. Okay, this encryption you can always say that yeah, mandatory. So it means whatever the data we are talking with the database and the front end, that will be encrypted. Okay, and you can there is a certificate as well of that SQL server. We'll talk in later session. All the servers maintain the integrity and encryption of data using these certificates. And some are like here they will use local certificate, but some there are third-party certificates as well. But for now, you can just keep it checked or unchecked and just press connect. Okay. So as soon as you press the connect, you will be presented this screen. In the left side, you have Object Explorer where you can see all these folders. This is the name of your SQL server, okay, which is running here, and these are your database and some security other folders, but currently we are focusing only on the databases. So here you see I have multiple databases for the teaching purpose. Now once you are here, now you want to start working with the database. What you can do, you can create your own database. How you can create own database? Click on the database folder and just click on new query here. Okay, after new query, you can see the there are some system databases. So by default, the selected database is master, which is a system database. Now you want to create your own database. So how you can create? You can say create database and then the name of database, whatever you named, test db1, like this. You run it. You created your database. Go to Object Explorer. Okay, you will not see it here until you will refresh it. How to refresh? Right click and you will see a refresh option, or on the top you can see this blue color refresh option, or it is saying press F5. Okay, so let's do this. Now you can see your test db1. Okay, now if you want to start working with test db1, select test db1, click on new query, and now you can see here the selected database is test db1 in this drop down, right? So it means now you are working with your test database, right? The test db1. So now you can say create table test1 id int name bracket 100. Create. You created your first table. Go to your database, expand your database, go to tables. You can see your test table. If you are not seeing, just go here, refresh again, same way, right click refresh or click here refresh. Okay, that's how you you can start working on a Microsoft SQL Server. Everything is free, whatever we discussed here, right? You can just download the two software and start working on it. Okay, now one more tricky question for you. It's extra. When I'm saying when you install SQL Server and it's running, right? But you have not installed SSMS. How you can see that okay, your SQL Server is running? Because it's server. Servers are like mostly default starts. Once you start your computer, they start by default. Okay. But how to see if your server is running? So you have to go in your task manager, go to task manager, go to processes, right? And if you sort your processes somewhere, you will see Microsoft SQL Server processes running. So let's sort by name, so that I'm trying to find out the Microsoft SQL Server. Where is there must be a service for SQL Server. if I'm not, let's say this other way, or just go here, open full services, you type service, you will come to here in services. These are your all the services which are running on your computer. It's like nothing to do with database session, but here your all the services are running. Okay, so now you go here and you can see that you have an SQL Server Express which is running status. You can see running. Okay, and then how it starts is automatic delete. It means it starts automatically, some delay, but it start automatically. Okay, so this is your SQL Server. If you try to ever connect your SQL Server with SSMS on this screen, okay, you connected. If you want to again connect with another server, it is not that one SSMS will connect to one database, right? It can connect to any number of database. So if you want to connect again one more, you click here in the connector, give another server name and connect again. Okay, so what I'm saying, whatever the server here running, you can see SQL Express or this server name, this you can check in the services here that it's running. Okay, if this service is not running, so let's say stop this server. Okay, I can stop it from the services. You can also, because you are admin of your computer, now you see it is red here. You can see a red dot in the name, right? Now if I try to connect to this database, okay, I should see something. I tried connect, right? Earlier it connected immediately, but now it is taking time, and after some time you will be presented with a valid error that either it doesn't found this server or it is not running, something like that. But it is not connecting. Okay, it will try to connect for some time and then it will present an error. So if you are trying to connect to your local SQL server and you are not able to, you are getting some error, always check for this server. This service is running or not, or stop. You can see here it's network related error, blah blah blah, that either it's not accessible or not running or not found, like that, because once it's not running, your computer will not be able to find it. Okay, so now go there and don't just do lot of experiment here, just keep it running. It is running. If it is not able, you are not able to connect, then only go to services and check it. Now you see again it connected. Okay, so this is your first database. These are the table. This is the structure of databases. You have tables, you have views, and then you have under programmability, you have stored procedures and functions and triggers. Someday we will discuss all about these different folders and functionality, about the synonyms. Okay, uh, but for this session, this was all about how to start with Microsoft SQL Server for free, downloading and setting it up and connecting and creating your first database. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment. If you like this video, if it's useful for you, just like it.